All right, our next presenter will be a company called FoodPhone.
Hi, my name's Chris Muti. I'm excited to tell you about FoodPhone, which turns your phone into a food MRI. I bet many of you are sitting there thinking this technology can't possibly work, or it's even too hard to imagine. We've heard that before. In fact, many of you have been trying the other hardware and solutions that are on the market, and you're right, they simply don't work. They don't work for two reasons. One, the technology is very inaccurate, and two, they're difficult and time-consuming for the consumer to guesstimate what they're eating and enter all the food in. In fact, there are 100 million people today that are trying to manage their food today with their smartphones, including my brother Gary here, who is a diabetic and who ended up in the hospital just last weekend. Diabetes is one of the major applications that we have identified that are literally life-threatening. And also there are people with food allergies. They want to know the food safety of their food. Other applications, including that are not as life-threatening, are outlined here in the green, including food fraud. You want to know that the food you're buying is actually the food that you're paying for. Diet and fitness. There's 100 million people that monitor their diet with their smartphone right now. And we also know exactly what's going on in the food delivery business, where Amazon and some of the major players want to manage your food shopping list and your food delivery to your house. So let me tell you how the technology works. What we do is we take a series of sensors or multispectral cameras, and we analyze the food exactly as a human does. First, we look at the color. We do that with our RGB camera. Secondly, we take a look at the overall shape and the volume of the food. We do that with our 3D camera that's in our sensor. Third, our 3D camera then goes ahead and analyzes the actual volume or mesh file of the food, which gives us more information on the texture, color, and the composition of the food. And most importantly is the near-infrared camera that's in our sensor, where we measure the actual macronutrients of the food. That includes the fats, carbohydrates, protein, and the water content of the food. From there, we take all that image data and we push that up to the cloud, push it through our artificial intelligence engine, combine it with our augmented reality IP, and instantly on your smartphone, we'll produce a nutritional fact label of the actual food that's on your plate. So let me tell you about the team that we put together to make this happen. We have a team of the highest level scientists, engineers in their respective areas. We also have a top level revenue team in place that's ready to sell this to our channel partners. Here is some of the traction that we've already gained. We already have top sales partners with Joslin Diabetes, as well as Healthy Nation, who've already given us letters of intent. They're eager and excited to get FoodPhone into their sales channel. And of course, our timeline. We've completed our proof of concept, and most importantly, we've just had our patents granted for both the technology and the IP. And essentially, we're ready to rock with this thing, get it commercialized, and bring FoodPhone to the market with our noted partners below. Our business model is both B2C and B2B, and we have multiple revenue streams, including devices, technology licenses, and probably the most valuable part of our revenue stream is the database. We're going to construct the most valuable food database in the world for researchers, such as Joslin, and also for food marketing for big companies like Amazon and people that want to get those groceries in your house. And of course, there's a subscription. You can see from the bottom here the roll-up of our projected revenues through 2019 and beyond. What we have here is a product that has an incredible, enormous opportunity and simply needs a small amount of money to get started and get to market. And I'm open for questions. Thank you very much.
Chris, how do customers get this phone, and what would it cost them?
Initially, we're going to offer it through Jocelyn and, through some of our channel partners at $159 for the case, and the sensors will be located in the case. You'll simply call up, say I have an S6 phone, Samsung, we'll overnight a case to you, you put it on, turn it on, set up a user account, you're in.
So the case would cost $159.
$159 at this point. We've also talked to a lot of insurance partners, insurance providers who feel that they will be providing this to their customers or their clients, for such as people with diabetes, because it'll help with the cost of maintaining their diabetes and their diets.
What's your margin on the device, and how many have you manufactured?
Right now, our BOM on the device is $50.
I'm a little unclear what your initial target market is, how you're going to reach it, what the business model is. Could you?
Our business model right now is through the existing partners that have the 100 million customers that are paid subscribers using their device, their apps right now. So we want to sell to the channel partners such as Lose It, Weight Watchers, MyFitnessPal, Under Armour. They together have over 100 million customers signed today using their apps in a very difficult way, and essentially their retention rate is very low because it's too hard to do. We've simplified it, one image, done.
And then you're getting paid just for the hardware, or is there an ongoing fee?
We're getting paid for the hardware. We're also a subscription model, to where our subscription model right now is $2.50 per device. And the opportunity here is there's hundreds of millions of devices to be sold. We feel that this is a billion-dollar company.
And how accurate is it?
It's well over 95% accurate. We match all our data to the USDA label, to the USDA information, and we measure it on, we produce a label, we measure the food's weight, nutritional content, and it's the same, same as on the USDA labels.
Is that what after the camera reads it, is that what is presented to the user? It's the label.
Yep.
Do you provide any other advice or input to them, or do you provide recommendations, or would Jocelyn do that? Or
Jocelyn would do that, and our channel sales partners would do that. They right now Lose It, Weight Watchers. They all have their own programs. So we want to sell it to them. They deliver it to their customers.
Okay, and just checking, I mean, so you said you can, because near IR is not as sensitive as, say, like FTIR. So question is, would you be able to differentiate between different kind of fats? Because that's a question a lot of times.
Different type of fat?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We can take a picture of mashed potatoes made with whole milk and butter, and we can tell you the difference to the other potatoes if they were made with skim milk and no butter. Because we measure the actual macronutrients with the near-infrared technology that we've patented and developed.
And the difference between sugar and Splenda?
Well, Splenda wouldn't show any increase in the sugar, and if you had a lot more sugar in the food, then it's going to show a higher level of carbohydrates and sugars, because we're measuring the carbohydrates with the near-infrared technology that we've patented.
But there are sugar alcohols that are carbohydrates and they're not absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
So do you differentiate those from sugar? They add no calories.
But we can tell you the level of different types of sugars that are in the food. That's the chemical composition that we break down with the near-infrared.
Just describe your channel partnerships in a little bit more detail. How far along are you with them? What's your contract with them?
Essentially, our number 1 and 2 channel partners are Jocelyn and Healthy Mation. And we've received letters of intent. They need to see a further proof, working device before we can enter into the final agreement with them. So it's initial stages, but I can say that I've developed their program with them over the past 3 years, and we have a fantastic business relationship.
where are you in the development of this? So you have a prototype, or are you ready to go?
Proof of concept's done. We have prototype cameras completed. We have all our IP. We have our patents completed. We have all our source code. algorithms. All of the work is done. What we need to do now is build out our software, our artificial intelligence engine, finish that up. That's about 6 to 8 months' work with companies such as MathWorks. And we're ready to commercialize the product in the case and start shipping within 12 months.
Great, thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good seeing you.
Thank you, Chris.